We are here in the oldest church of Sulaymaniyah. It is the church Mariam Al-Adra, which is in the quarter Sabunkaran. It was built in 1862 by Christian families, of which many of them came from Sanadaj in Iran. These families they built the church in a very different form than we have today here. The church was in 3 naves and had inside 4 columns, but in the 1960s these columns have been taken away, most probably because there was still old damage from 1924. The British Air Force would bombard Sulaymaniyah and also this church. I'm Father Jens Petzold from the community Al-Khalil of the monastery in Syria, Deir Mariam, and I am here the responsible for the old church of Sulaymaniyah, Mariam Al-Adra.
I'm originally from Germany, and before entering the monastery, in a way I had a full life. I did theater work already for more than 15 years, mainly mime, body theater, and also I worked in a psychosomatic hospital in Switzerland, doing a special kind of trauma therapy called somatic experiencing. And both of my works I loved very much. In fact, coming to the monastery for me was also a surprise, or being called to a Christian monastery was for me a surprise, because already before I was more involved in Sufism. And I was very much attracted by Islam because I worked for 1 year in Tunisia, and there for the first time I got in closer contact with Islam and heard the call from the mosques, which really touched my heart deeply. And only after, through the teachings of my Sufi teacher, I came back to Christianity, to my original. After deciding to deeply follow Jesus in my way, to give my life to him, I started to have a kind of dreams and visions of a monastery in the desert that has to do with Islam, but I didn't know where it is. So I started searching, and it took quite some time until I found out that it is Deir Mariam in Syria. And so I decided to go there to visit, just to visit. I had no idea to become a nun. I just went there to visit, and then being there as a visitor, it already started again with dreams and with very strong experiences. And also meeting for the first time Father Paulo. This was also a very crucial contact for me. I finally found out that I should stay there, and so I gave up my work and my friends. Of course, we're still somehow in contact, but all my life, which I really loved, in a way I came out of a full life that I really loved. And I sold my motorcycle, which was also a hard step. And I went to Syria to stay in the monastery.
I would say this church in particular has never changed very much its presence, its way of doing. We have a long history of living together here in Sabunkaran. The quarter itself, it was Jewish, it was Muslim, and it was Christian. And here the Christians have been known for their ability to reconcile the different parts of the society. One big name I want to mention is Karimi Al-Adra. He had not only a big heart for the poor people when there was a Eucharisty here in Sulaymaniyah, and he opened his house to many of them to give them food. He also was known as a negotiator and a mediator between the big families. And this tradition, I think, was always in this church. This church was always an open church. Many of our neighbors tell us that they, as kids already, like today, played inside of the church together with the Christian, the Muslim, and so on. And so, this church had always a very open character. It was always open to everyone, and keeping in the same moment its profound Christian identity.
Of course, it's different here, the work, because in Syria it's a monastery in the desert, a very old place. So also the people come there just to see the place. It's a place of worship, a place of pilgrimage even. And here we are in the middle of the city. Nobody comes just to visit a church like this. So here it's more through activities that the people come to our place. First, I really want to thank the people of Sulaymaniyah because we are received very well here, which is not for granted. So from the beginning, somehow we were really received well, and then already when we started to plan more, the ISIS occupied the Nineveh plain, and we hosted a lot of Christian refugees here in the church. Altogether, more or less 250 people who stayed here in the building there, and in some of the old houses that were empty, and also 60 people inside of the church here. So it was divided with curtains, and so all our work changed, of course. So we were just trying to do something for the refugees.
Well, here Mariam Al-Adra wants to be a place where people meet, where they can exchange ideas, where they can think also what they want to do in their future. And this is for us very important because without meeting we can't be good neighbors, and without knowing each other there will be always somehow a little bit of suspicion of our neighbors. So the better we know each other, the better we can prepare for and keep the peace at least in Sabunkaran, maybe in Sulaymaniyah, maybe in Kurdistan, maybe in whole Middle East. And this would be a great thing. But if we succeed in Sabunkaran or just in our Hara, in our little valley, we are already very happy.
God, the hidden offspring of your bosom, who being his likeness and the glory of your splendor, the image of your substance, did not deem equality with you.
At the moment, we have the biggest projects of us is what we call Dangakan, voices for communication. Is a project which started as Kurdish language teaching for refugees from the Nineveh plain, and now we have also an English section, and we have an Arabic section, because at a certain moment young Kurdish persons here from the quarter said, well, we don't find a good job if we don't have a good Arabic. So they asked us for Arabic. So we have these three parts. We will have more courses. For example, we organize now in the next few months courses for mediation, courses for non-violent expression, courses for journalism also. So this will be, this is always a part of this Dangakan project. Then we have another old project is the theater group. We have started this theater group in 2015.
The name of it is Sabunkaran Theatre Group, and we started in 2015, I think. So the church, since the beginning, when they came here from Syria, it was more of a safe space than it being a church. That's why you can see like there's a lot of different ethnicities, religions, that they all live here and coexisting like together. But we started because, as I said, it's a safe space, so we can just be ourselves without having the judgment of the outside. And they're very accepting, so they chose this place for it to be a safe space for them and to practice here and do most of the plays that we do it in the garden or here in the church itself. So we do work with Father Jens, like to give us the place and sometimes funds for it, but it's mainly just us, so they don't really interrupt or try to change what we do in a sense. But of course we have to be respectful of the place itself.
Mariam Al-Adra is a little bit different. I think many churches, they like to be Christian, and that's also right, because as a minority you need your safe spaces. That's important for us Christian, that we have our spaces where we can express our faith freely. This said, I would say Middle East is an example that this free expression of faith is possible inside of the society. And what I experienced in Syria, what I experienced here in Sulaymaniyah, there is a big respect of the Middle Eastern people, be it Kurdish or Arabic or also Farsi or Irani. There is a big, deep respect of the other community. So welcoming the neighbor is something very deep here in this society, and that's what we like to do. We want to welcome the neighbor. Yeah, like today there was a young man who wanted to know everything about Christianity, and in fact he was very clear that this is for him a little bit strange all, and I think he was quite happy to be Muslim. And I think that's always nice, somebody who's very convinced and deep in his belief and still is curious for the other. What is the other thing?